Max Verstappen is threatening to steal the driver's title from McLaren duo Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris after cutting into their championship advantage with a commanding victory at the United States Grand Prix. Starting from pole, Verstappen's path to victory was smoothed by a lightning getaway from Ferrari's Charles Leclerc, whose soft, tired launch allowed him to jump Norris into second. That early buffer proved critical. Norris found himself stuck behind the Ferrari for 21 laps, while Verstappen steadily stretched his lead, opening a gap of nearly 11 seconds by the time the McLaren finally found a way through. The Dutchman narrowly missed out on a historic Grand Slam sweep, fastest lap, pole and victory in both the sprint and main race, after Kimi Antonelli snatched the bonus point. Still, Verstappen's triumph marked his third win in 5 races, his 5th of the season and the 68th of his glittering career. Crucially, it also brought him to within 40 points of title leader Oscar Piastri, who could manage no better than 5th after a difficult weekend. With 141 points still on the table, the reigning champion is well and truly back in the hunt. Not bad for someone who rated his chances 50-50 before the weekend. For sure, the chance is there. We just need to try and deliver these kinds of weekends, now until the end, so we will try whatever we can. I think it is exciting. It was an unbelievable weekend for us, and I knew that the race was not going to be super straightforward. If you look at the race, the pace between me and Lando was really close, and that first stint is what made the difference. I could eke out a little bit of a gap, and that's what we did towards the end. It wasn't easy to manage the tyres on both stints, but we kept it in the lead. And I'm just incredibly proud of everyone to deliver a weekend like this. Meanwhile, Oscar Piastri remains unfazed. The Australian maintains he's still the man to beat in the 2025 Formula One title race, even with Verstappen closing in fast. Piastri leads the standings by just 14 points over teammate Norris, while Verstappen sits 40 points adrift in third with 5 rounds left to run. He said, "I'd still rather be where I am than the other two." Obviously, this weekend has not been what I wanted or what I expected. This weekend has been quite different to the previous couple. Baku was obviously a bit of a disaster for very different reasons, and Singapore was what it was. So, I think this weekend has been kind of the odd one out compared to others. Piastri insists his focus is squarely on rediscovering the early season form that saw him win 4 of the opening 6 Grand Prix. When asked if Verstappen's late-season surge had rattled him, the 9-time race winner was defiant. Not necessarily. He's obviously there, and he's quick, but for me the biggest focus is just trying to work out why this weekend was tough, and try and get back on the form we've had earlier in the season. So, that's my biggest focus, and if we can find that again, then the results will take care of themselves. Verstappen's experience as a 4-time world champion is seen by many as his greatest weapon. The mental composure that comes from fighting and winning titles year after year. But Piastri, a double champion in Formula 2 and Formula 3, believes his own track record proves he has the mindset to go the distance. So, when the 24-year-old, now in his 3rd F1 season, was pressed on whether Verstappen holds the psychological upper hand, he replied, "Not necessarily." He's obviously had a good run in the last few races, but ultimately, if we can find our way again, find our pace, and certainly for me, find the pace again, then I don't have any major concerns. It's still a long way to go in the championship. It is still for Max anyway. He's obviously chased it down pretty quick, but it's not exactly a small gap with 5 rounds to go. So I think if we can find our pace again, then things will take care of itself. As for Lando Norris, the Briton was content to settle for 2nd in the United States Grand Prix, conceding there was not a lot more we could have done after a hard-fought duel with Ferrari's Charles Leclerc. Reflecting on his race and his long-running on-track battles with Leclerc, Norris joked after climbing out of the car that he finally managed to get the upper hand. He added, "It took long enough. It was a good battle with Charles. He fought hard, and it was tough. We did everything we could. I thought we kind of had it in an easier way after the overcut. I expected a slightly easier second attempt to get through, but it wasn't the case. Charles drove a very good race, It was fun and good battles. So I have to take second. There's not a lot more we could have done. McLaren CEO Zak Brown admitted he was glad to have the weekend behind us after seeing Norris and Piastri finish second and fifth, respectively. The American boss revealed that Piastri never really felt comfortable with his car throughout the Austin weekend and struggled to find confidence behind the wheel. He told Sky Sports Germany, "Glad to have the weekend behind us, but a good result. Lando, I think, had the pace of Max, but with Ferrari's tyre strategy, starting on the soft, obviously got a good run into turn one, and it took a while to get past Leclerc. He was strong. Oscar struggled a bit all weekend. This wasn't a great weekend for him. Not a bad result. Congratulations to Max. He was fast as always. But here we come in Mexico. Yeah, Leclerc started on the soft, so he obviously had a good launch and a good first lap, and it just took us too long to get by him. When pressed on what exactly was hampering the young Australian, Brown added, he just never really felt comfortable, or he had the car underneath him that he wanted, so just a little bit off all weekend. It wasn't his favourite track last year, so just a little bit off, just never felt he was really comfortable. Talking about Red Bull's red-hot momentum, Brown said, great racing team. I think you saw the turnaround we had in 2024 and how competitive we got pretty quickly. So, I think the sport is unbelievably competitive. It just shows that these teams never sit still. They've had some great developments. Max is an awesome driver, and next thing you know, they've got a lot of momentum. We need to break that momentum now. We have to just keep doing what we're doing. I think we had a very fast race car today. I think we could have won today. Obviously, we didn't, so it's a good could have, should have, would have, but it's going to be very close. The championship is far from over. Despite Verstappen's resurgence, McLaren insists it will continue to treat both drivers equally in the title run-in. Team principal Andrea Stella reiterated that the team is a long way from favouring Piastri over Norris. We review our approach constantly, but we are a long way from being in condition to say that we are going to prioritise one driver over the other, especially as long as the chances are realistic for both drivers. This is the way we intend racing. This is the way in which we approach racing. We want to remain fair, and we want to apply equality to both drivers. So this is the situation at the moment. There are actually so many points yet to go that Verstappen is definitely in the quest. So I think the most important thing is that we make sure that the world champion will be a driver in a papaya car. But who is going to be the one? Certainly, the team wants both Oscar and Lando to be able to pursue their aspirations as long as it is reasonable to do so, and as long as it's reasonable not having to commit to one driver. Max Verstappen believes McLaren are absolutely leaning toward Lando Norris in their title fight, though he insists it's not something that will affect his own campaign with Red Bull. Absolutely. Someone, I don't know, I heard something. Does it help me? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't care also, because it has nothing to do with me. What they decide, of course, within the team. How they operate as a team. They do whatever they think is right, and they're doing a very good job at it being this quick and what they've done over the last few years. For me, what's important is that when we get to the racetrack, we just maximize our potential. And as long as we can do that, then it's in our control. Of course, if you look at the whole season, we didn't have a great start to it. But I just approach every race weekend trying to maximize everything we can, try to win races, and that's the only thing we can do until the end. Do you share Max Verstappen's opinion that McLaren is playing favourites, or is he simply stirring the pot to give himself the mental advantage in the season's final stretch? See how many agree or disagree with you in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to stay informed on the latest in Formula One. Thanks for watching.